Officially live, officially live. We'll do it live. Evan, we'll do it live. All right. As usual, crossing my T's, dotting my I's. All right. Oh, what a day, what a day, what a day. Got a lot done, but it's like I could have used a nap. I did take a nap today. I was waiting on something, and I was on the couch, and my head went back like this, and I was out. About 10 minutes or so. So it was a nice nap. Appreciated that I was able to get that. All right, we'll get a few minutes here before we get right into the update. Matter of fact, it's funny. I appreciate everybody that's patient with these live updates because it's kind of a two-bird, one-stone situation. I want to record these production diaries, which have been started. I look back on it. My gosh, I started production diaries about 6 years ago, 2015. And then back then I just kind of recorded my screen, went through it real quick, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm like, with live streaming is a lot more better now. I'm like, I should live stream more often, because like considering this is an interactive, co-created sci-fi franchise. So live streaming makes the most sense, but I can do my little production diary updates at the same time. So it's kind of funny. You guys get to see me pretend like I'm recording a video by itself during the live stream. All right, we'll give it a few more minutes before I do the update. And this is a cool update, by the way. It's going to talk a lot about the more about what the index is.
Why not?
Which is funny because I still, to this day, we've been doing auditions, and literally one of the questions they always have is, so I followed your social media and your Twitter, your Instagram. I don't know I don't know what the index is. I'm like, you and me both, pal. You and me both. We'll find out. So actually, that's what I'll be working on today. So I'll be on for about an hour, maybe a little bit longer. I have a little bit extra time today. Man, it is hot here. I don't know if you can see the glistening sweat, but it is hot. I am in Arizona, and it is not good in the summertime. Let me make sure. Oh, did I get my... Oh, we did. Okay, good. The easiest way for me to go through these updates is just to have basically a Rolodex of what I'm going to show. Yeah, I was looking at these production diaries. So this is not the first one. The first one was... It doesn't say the date. I don't really want to click on it. I already got this loaded up. But yeah, 2015. Holy crap, July. So I probably did... There's production diary number 8. Probably I try to do it once a week. Figure back. So it's been over 6 years. My. With, I don't know, 5-year gap. Social media is hard. It's never that it is goofball. I hate it. Questions? Such a goofball. Just comment on this or some other post. I'm sure I'll find it, and then I'll answer it in the live stream. That's when I was going live last time. Yeah, I had some people ask me about this. What exactly is going on here? Spoilers. In the index, because it is a conscious-based system, you can actually create technological spells. Thor Core Fitness. What's up, man? I know who you are. I won't say your name, though. I know you value your privacy. Hey, man. So, yeah, we're about to get started. I was mentioning that we do these updates live, so it's two birds, one stone, so I don't have to go back and record it again. Plus, it's fun to do it live. I mean, the whole point of the index is that it's going to be collaborative, so it has to be a lot of live stuff, which I'll explain in a little bit. By the way, check out Thorcore Fitness YouTube channel. I'm a subscriber. It's pretty cool. I like what he's doing. He's doing the kind of the everyday man's fitness guy instead of just trying to be like the super expert, which he's very knowledgeable, by the way. But he's got a really cool channel. He has a high production value, especially compared to a lot of YouTubers. All right, we'll give it a few more minutes. I like to give it until we get a few more in. Oh yeah. Wonder if anybody's caught this one. That was kind of fun. I just threw this up on the fly. One of the first quantum knots. What? What's a quantum knot? I don't know. I just made it up. Mapping the collective subconscious. First Lieutenant Harley will be missed. Where is he going? How is he going to get lost in subconscious? Who's subconscious? All of our subconscious? The collective subconscious? That's all the index is. It's more questions than answers. All right, why don't we get started here? I'm going to go into production diary mode. Let me pull up my notes. I always have my little talking points with me. And then I'll hang out afterwards. Like I mentioned before, I'll hang out afterwards. I'm just going to be working. I'm actually going to be brainstorming some new videos that will be coming up. So feel free to hang out after the update and ask any questions you might have. I didn't get any from the live stream last time, but I had a couple people ask me if, for some help on the ARG. That's live right now. Hey, Trombone Knuckles! How's it going, my friend? Hold on. I'm gonna say it right. Don't. Okay. Vehicle vehemence. I pronounced it correct. I've been practicing. Yeah, I'm glad you're here, man. Yeah, let's. Okay, I was getting in my notes. Let me pull up my notes for the update. And by the way, if you couldn't tell, I fixed my chat from last time. It is now disappearing after 5 seconds. Did I set to 5 seconds? I can't remember. But yeah, that was funny. This is all rudimentary. You know what I mean? Like I kind of like the idea of it just being dirty. There's so many polished and produced, especially on live streams now. It's like, no, let's just have fun. Let's not. Who cares if it's gonna break everything? I mean, I went as far as spending 20 minutes setting this up before. Now, it gets more and more complicated because I keep going, ooh, that'd be cool if we added this new thing. But I'm not too worried about it at all. So all right, so without further ado, let's get into the update. So I'm going to go into production diary mode, if you don't mind, and let's get started. And action. All right, hello, good peoples of the internet. My name is Russ. This is production diary number 16, and we have a lot of crazy updates for you. This thing is rolling like none other, and it's funny because this thing started in 2015. About I want to say it was in May. So this sucker is 6 years old, but there's a big gap in between, as a lot of you that have been following know. But you know what? That's how it goes. And now that we're kind of back rolling, we're at that point, the point of no return. Before it was kind of, we did a couple of videos, did a couple of little, cool, try to get some books going. We try to get the social media going and everything else. Now, point of no return. Some budget has been spent. We're about to go into production, but more than that, as you guys know, now we're doing a comic book. We're doing an interactive fiction game. The ARG is live. We are steamrolling. So, a couple updates. Oh yeah, today is all going to be about collaboration. So stick around for the end because we're gonna go over how is the Index, this franchise, kind of like Star Wars, kind of like The Matrix, not without the budget, but how is that going to, what would that be like if it was collaborative? What if it was like a crowdsourced story world? And we'll get into what that means. But for those of you that are new here, what is the Index? Well, the Index is a consciousness-based universe, okay? So that's the story world. A lot of ways that I explain it to people is like, you know how the Matrix was all about you're in a computer, the code is the fundamental building block of reality? Well, there is some actual, I would say, evidence, let's say woo-woo science, that says consciousness might actually be the code of the universe. And so what if scientists hacked that? What if corporations exploited that? That's what the Index is. And on top of that, it's a collaborative story world where you and everybody that's a part of the Index fan base is going to be a co-creator of that. So what you're witnessing now is kind of the first season of that, and essentially it's going to be setting the foundation, and then we're working on this sucker together. So let's get started. So the big part of the Index for this first season is the digital series. Let me pull up my handy dandy, there we go, digital series, and we are rolling on it. In fact, we just had our first auditions. Very exciting. We're really pleased with the auditions we had for a character by the name of James Gray. Okay, and the reason why I have, if anybody's familiar with GTA 5, I think, Trevor, he's very much like a Trevor character. In fact, every actor that we auditioned, one of the, when we gave them sides, you also give them a character description when you make a film, then you do auditions. And I said Trevor, but a little less psychotic, and every single one of them commented that they thought that was a really like they immediately got it. They're like, okay. So we haven't made our full decisions yet. We're kind of like drilling down to the best of the best and probably doing callbacks. But hey, this is from us. My beautiful wife is there at the bottom left, and a mysterious person on the bottom right, and then me just excited to see people perform on the top right, and a mysterious person. I didn't get them to get their permission, so I just put Trevor's face on there. And just to give you guys a really quick idea, well, James Gray's got to be like one of my favorite characters that I've written so far. I say that about all my characters, I'll be honest. Every character I just love. This one, I'm not going to read this whole thing. You guys can pause it if you'd like, but the thing I like about this the most is two things. One, I start out with the description by saying James Gray is an asshole, but an uncommon one. So, and then the other thing too that I really like is that he's very ambitious, but he's not ambitious for like money. He's just ambitious because he has a desire to achieve. He's like a piece of garbage, but he's a smart piece of garbage. Anyway, there's more to be said on this, but I just wanted to show you guys we're auditioning and we're about to roll into production. And I got some really cool stuff to show you. I don't want to give it all away. I know the Index is a very like transparent thing, and it's kind of like we're in this together. But I want to make sure we don't give it all away. But I'll show you one little piece of. Well, I gave it away all the way now. Oh well. So this is the concept art for another version of the Tech Shrine. Oh, it doesn't give me a chance to. Anyway, you guys can take a look. You can't see much of the detail, but one of the things in the... Why does it keep doing that for me? One of the things that that's in the Index is a common thing is these tech shrines. I think I explained it in the last production diary, but essentially it's like this mental powered tech-infused way to hack reality. I won't give away too much there, but we did some cool concept art for that, not just for the digital series, but also this will be, again, it's a common staple in the Index universe, so it'll be in comic books, games, that sort of stuff, and it's pretty cool. The guy that did this, and maybe next time I'll say his name. I don't think I got permission to say who it is. I'm sure he wouldn't mind, but I'm not going to do it. But these are like some concept art pieces. We're just kind of going back and forth and trying to really understand. And as you guys know, we want to create that subgenre called quantum punk. Well, there you go. What is quantum punk? Well, it's kind of like brains and mind and technology and mysticism and religious artifacts, that sort of thing. So I thought this was really cool to show you guys that we are moving along. And so one of these we're going to be drilling down probably with the first two, but these are going to be built. These are concept pieces for fabrication when we actually do the digital series. So pretty excited. And I mentioned that before too. Lemonade Acres is the company I'm working with. In fact, I just met with them yesterday. They showed me some pieces that they're already working on. They're extremely excited to be a part of it, and I'm already like blown away. I'm just like, how did you build this in the in the time that we last talked? So I can't show you that stuff yet, but I probably will pretty soon. Also, the comic book. So let me have... Yeah, so the comic book is rolling along. This is actually far more developed. I just wanted to give you guys the kind of the process of what we do. We do like a layout. By I mean the comic book artist. You know, I just kind of say, hey, it'd be cool if we saw this, and then he makes it happen, and it's amazing. But this is kind of like the first full page illustrated comic book, or first page on the comic book that kind of shows off the world. Now there's actually some updates here, like we moved out this car. There's like a big church. Again, this is Quantum Punk, so like religion and mysticism and all that cool stuff is a big part of the index. So we moved out this flying car, a little too futuristic-y for me, a little too Blade Runner, and we put like a big like oppressive looking church sort of thing. What's going on here? Oh, mystery. I guess you'll find out if you read the comic book. What's going on here? Is that an old vehicle turning like a T model or Model T transforming from a futuristic car? Why? Why is that glitching out? Well, some of you may know. Yeah, so I really love where that's going. The interactive fiction game. So we've made some progress. So I'm making a test, and for those of you who don't know what the interactive fiction game is, essentially it's literally going to be like a choose your own adventure game, very novel based, not visual novel like Red Alert, our dealer. I see, you know, but it's going to be very much more like a novel than it is a visual novel, if that makes sense. You can probably look up, one of the biggest inspirations that we had for it is really two things combined. Is this game called Device 6, which is like more novel but puzzles and all this sort of stuff mixed with something like, whoa, what is that? Oh, I forgot the name of the game. It's like one of... I'm horrible at names, by the way. Like, it's one of the worst things. Not just people's names. Like, that's probably the worst thing, but just remembering anything that has a name assigned to it. That part of my brain just does not work. Untold Stories. There we go. Untold Stories. So, like, imagine that combined. But, you know, I kind of got some of these little elements. They're more techie, so I don't really have much to show you on this. But you can imagine what will happen is you read the novel, you scroll up, and you do a puzzle like you're hacking reality. And then you continue on reading and everything else. So it's kind of a milestone, not like a really cool milestone, but you know, it's an update. It's an update. For the ARG, I really got to get back into working on David again. He this part of the ARG, and you know, for all intents and purposes, if you have a question on the ARG, then let me know. But the David is going to be a big part of that as we ramp up. Right now, I'm just kind of loosely throwing out a video here and there. But essentially, once we get closer to actual launch date, David will be much more integral. In fact, this will spill into the digital series. So keep an eye on David. David's not done. All right, so that's kind of the major update. I wanted to show this to you guys. I want you to try to guess what I'm doing here. Okay, I won't make a guess. But so the thing about the index is it's an experiment. Okay, it's an experiment in co-creating with all of the internet, or at least, you know, the fans. What am I doing with this device? Why am I looking at this device? Well, you know what? It comes down to this. I've been struggling back and forth with what I want the index to be. And the main reason is because I want it to do this experiment where we're creating this TV series, is probably the most universal way of saying it, with comic books, with everything else. But what if it was kind of to hell with spoilers? Now, not to say I won't give spoiler alerts, and obviously people that don't want to be spoiled and they want to see the end product, they can choose to opt out. But what if there was spoilers versus camaraderie, and we literally, from step by step, watched as this full thing develops? So, me being the producer / director, on the Index, especially the digital series, what if I strapped a certain device onto my chest and live streamed everything? Now, I'm not saying like it's like one of those like Justin TVs, if you guys remember that. And that's the same question I have. You know, it's funny. I just a real quick side. Why does he have that prawn stash? I saw a comment on the reviews of one of these, and it's just like, why is Freddie Mercury wearing a live stream chest mount? But anyway, so imagine that. Imagine if we just completely and absolutely collaborated, or at least I could say full transparency on every step of the way for the Index. We're talking about while I'm directing the actual, at least like an hour. I'm not going to be wearing this thing all day while I'm directing, but war to like some of the fabrication stuff as it's being built. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to turn that on. Turn it off when I'm like directing actors, because that's kind of more of an intimate, like we got a workshop, that sort of thing, and I'm sure they wouldn't appreciate if a camera's in their face, even when the big camera is supposed to be off. But Justin TV, me Twitch. Yeah, that's what it is now. See, that's how old I am. Justin TV was many a year ago. And, man, I think they turned into something else. All right, I digress. So that's what the Index is. And not only that, we're talking about, that's just the transparency part of it. What about if we co-created this thing, right? And that's kind of like something I said from the very beginning. And I have to lay the foundation to make sure that the world is understood, the universe is pretty much understood. But for all intents and purposes, when new content's being created, why not have like one of those bracket systems, right? Like, what if it was a crowdsourced storytelling platform where we had like anything from like users submit scripts, and we have, you know, everybody that's a fan kind of bracket down, you know, vote down to the best script all the way, or we can do it even more simple than that and say like, hey, which art piece, because you know you got to choose between, say, like the concept art, which concept art piece is the best one, which one should we go with? And so I like that idea in the sense that what it could be, you know, it's that spoilers versus camaraderie, is by the time we actually get to the end of this thing, it's like we built this all together. I really love that idea. So yeah, it's really one of those things that it's like a total experiment to see if it would actually work. But you know, we'll have to see. But so, and here's the other thing too. When we collaborate on these stories, I want there to be some kind of reward system. And so one of the things that I thought was pretty cool is that the ARG itself is kind of the whole thing. It's almost like the foundation of the Index is an ARG, and all the other pieces of it are just, you know, films, comic books, that sort of stuff. That's just like an extension of the ARG. And when somebody solves something, when somebody contributes a story element to this world, when somebody creates fan fiction, when somebody just like participates in that bracket system I had mentioned, what if they got paid? In other words, what if there's an in-world currency? Now that's like a crypto in the world we're talking about. This isn't a real crypto. But what if that was like something that was freely distributed based on interaction and the transparency of the world and the co-creation of the world and the interactivity of the world, that could be actually used in world and out world. What I mean by out world is, you know, let's give you a discount. You have 10 moon coins. These are called moon coins, by the way. You have 10 moon coins? Here, 50% off. Why not? So that's something to think about in the future. It still needs to be hashed out. It's pretty insane. But I will say this too. Also, collaboration. What if you got credit? What if you had a great idea to add to the digital series, or you were like a hardcore player that was able to just solve a puzzle, or whatever the case may be, credit in the film. Why not? So that's it. So I hope that kind of clears it up a little bit more of where I'm going with this whole co-creative crap, the interactivity crap, you know, all that sort of stuff. it's just an experiment to see what happens, you know. And I think, you know, it could go into this explosion of nonsense, which I still think would be kind of cool anyway. Or, you know, it could be something that's just the world hasn't seen, you know. I'm not saying I'm like inventing the wheel here, but it's something that I think I'm putting together pieces of cool stuff that I've seen into something called the Index. So I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. And here's the other thing. To answer the question that everybody asked me, what is the Index? I feel like I'm being asked, like, what is the Matrix all the time. I'm actually going to create a video series about that. So that's going to be coming soon. It's going to explain from the story world, the interactivity, and more depth. It's going to talk about the currency, the moon coin stuff. It's going to talk about the comic book, everything. So there's going to be a digital series. That's going to be pretty much pinned to like the Twitter feed and all that sort of stuff. So that'll come soon. But that's it, guys. I think last time I had you guys check out Theory Inc. It's a YouTube channel that I also do, which I haven't done in a long time. I need to get back on it. In fact, I'm almost done with the next video of it. But what is Theory Inc.? It's kind of the umbrella of this project. It's a network of trying to, we call it meta, make entertainment think again. I know the association, I get it. But you know, it's just it's kind of the brand. You know, it's smart, it's the introspective entertainment as well as commentary, podcast, that sort of stuff. So I just always want to mention that in these videos. But until next time, guys, I appreciate you, and always feel free to reach out, and let's build a world together. All right, and that's where I cut it. Thanks for indulging me, guys. I appreciate like the fact that I can do 2 birds, 1 stone on this. Saves me time. What do you guys think about like the interactivity? I know I'm like vague in my descriptions, or as my wife says, you explain too much. And that's gonna be tricky too, man. Editing with a selfie stick. Or, I'm sorry, directing with a selfie stick. Editing, I could just turn on the webcam, right? It's like, what am I getting myself into? Mediocre! What is going on? You'd be so proud of me. I said the name right, and I'm hesitant, like I'm scared I'm gonna say it wrong again. But it takes me a second because I think about vehicle. Vehemence. There we go. That's a good little trick. I remember that, trombone. Can you tell us more about what we can do with the currency? Yeah, so that's still in. It's so funny because I'm just going to be handing those out like candy, at least in the beginning, where, you know, if you have a really cool comment, I was thinking about even doing like a Patreon or something where moon coins could be, you know, you get a moon coin a month or something like that. But the currency, excuse me, I had breakfast for dinner and you guys are paying for it. No, but the currency would be essentially used in world and out of world. Out of world, really, the only thing I could think of right now that could be used, although I'm sure there's 1,001 ways we can do it. But out of world would be like to give discounts on content and to, I refuse to say it correctly. Yeah, so it'd be like, you know, giving discounts on like content. And really what I want to do with it is I like the idea of like rewarding fans, you know, like if you're a real super fan of this, you know, why not give you guys like rewards for that? Let's say you get enough moon coins and all of a sudden you never have to pay for a piece of content again. Like you get all the you know, comic books free and all that sort of stuff. So it's like the more you engage, the more you interact, you just get you're allowed to be a part of this universe. In world, so at some point we're gonna have it as part of the metaverse. So if you're familiar with that at all, like Roblox is doing a big thing. What is that one? Fortnite. There's this new game called Sandbox, and they're trying to create this metaverse, which is the best way to describe it is just like Ready Player One, where like multiple IPs come together and they kind of share using the blockchain. It gets real techie, but so in world you could use the moon coin to buy RDs, right? In the world, you can upgrade certain things on your character. kind of like a regular video game, but it leaks into everything. So let's say you have enough moon coins. What if we made some kind of like crazy interactive, I don't know what you would, I guess just interactive comic book where like your character is the, is one of the characters in the comic book. I mean, there's just so much like going on technology front that, it'd be really cool to create like an ARG. Again, base level, this is all ARG, but it's just filtering into all this pop culture media like films, like comic books, like all those sort of things. Yeah, metaverse is kind of a big thing that, in fact, there's like kind of grabbing attention of a lot of investors. It's kind of like I don't know, like it's almost connected with crypto because like Sandbox, if you guys look up like Sandbox Game, they actually sell land, and it's almost like an NFT if you know anything about what I'm talking about. But it's almost like they're selling land, which a lot of different companies are doing this as well, but in-game land that Atari bought up like thousands of dollars worth, where it's limited, just like Bitcoin, and you put your games on it, and then you could also go and buy assets to create said games, and those assets are NFTs, which are kind of like their own crypto on the blockchain. Again, if I'm getting too techie here, for sure, stop me. But we're going to see some massive changes in how we interact with at least video games, let alone the entire internet. Like the whole crypto thing / blockchain thing is just kind of blowing up. Bodie McBoatface, absolutely. I don't know what faction you'll join. Factions. I haven't even talked about factions. Let's word for immersive media right now. It is, yeah. And it's I think everything is always overhyped at first until we start seeing what the technology is. Like I don't know if Roblox is gonna be the big Ready Player One universe. I can kind of see it at least being, well, I guess the whole point is that it doesn't matter what platform you're in, right? You could take your VR chat character and bring it into a Roblox game or some kind of shared universe, It's really new. It's like really, nobody really knows what it's going to look like, but everybody keeps saying Ready Player One, and I would be skeptical, except for the fact that blockchain is a real technology that can make, for lack of a better way of explaining it, digital assets rare. So you can copy paste a picture. Well, okay, that's cool, but what blockchain does is say, well, actually this particular digital asset only belongs to this one person. It's kind of like to use Ready Player One, it's kind of like, when they have that I don't know, I think it was a holy hand grenade, and they're like so expensive. Well, in theory, in a video game, you can kind of go into the source code and just unlock it with that, so to speak. Well, with blockchain, you really can't, because it's like, it'll verify. Again, I get lost in the tech. Things like it can be retrieved, I think, as long as it can be retrieved like in universe or by playing, not a microtransaction kind of thing, if that makes sense. Yeah. Well, I think that's what has to, okay, so I guarantee you there's going to be people doing microtransactions. I don't want to do that with the index. Like, I want the index to be, how like World of Warcraft, you could actually pay for your own subscription. So you can, so you can actually farm enough gold in World of Warcraft where you can pay for your next month's subscription, so you don't have to actually make money. I kind of want the index to be that, but a little bit easier. Like, you don't have to be rich, you don't have to be, whatever. But if you're a fan, like, you're gonna get the content. Like, if you're actively engaged in the community, you'll get the content. So microtransactions, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I would much rather like crowdsource or Patreon or do like live streaming donation sort of things before I would do microtransactions. Like, I don't want to keep anybody from the content, I guess is what I mean. We need Roblox for adults. Well, that's the idea. That is the idea. You grind 100%. Well, yeah, because that would be, I mean, because then you're just adding to this universe. And, you know, some people want to do, like, fan fiction, fan films. You know, a good way to I guess, compare it to would be something like SCP, right? Like, SCP is just a database. Maybe they create content, I don't know. But I know their fans do. And you could license essentially for video games. You can I know, like a lot of Reddit stuff, books, that sort of stuff. That's kind of the idea, you know. But I think we can go one step further and then provide like some serious professional content that player characters can be in, you know. Now that's the tricky part. I don't know how I'm going to work that out, but you know, if I get enough budget, you can make anything possible with enough money. That's a cool idea, getting rewarded for being engaged. It has to be that way. I think it just has to. At least that's what I would like to see. You know, you can only make what you want to see, and I think that's the idea. Skin collecting. Okay, actually, that's not a bad idea. I'm gonna write that down. Because the character creation thing I haven't worked out. And maybe it's too early to kind of, you know, try to have people create character skins. But I want to. One of the things that everybody has in the index, and again, this is spoilers, and that's the thing. Spoilers versus camaraderie. This is going to be so transparent. It's going to be spoilers every day when we get started, especially. But what I want to say is that every character in the index has a certain influence. You can kind of think of it like a superpower that's about affecting reality, that sort of thing. And so I'm trying, like, I have it in place to create, like, you can create your character now. I just don't have a lot you can do with it at the time being. Not until like season 2, which could be a year from now for all I know. Character skins. And yeah, and it would have to have something that you can like visually see your character, and that's a little bit beyond what I could do right now. But you know, spoilers for days. I'm curious, have you guys, I've looked for you see behind the scenes stuff, especially for film, but have you ever seen like a live stream of somebody making a movie? I can't be the first to think it. I mean, I'm sure somebody's thought of that idea, but I can't be the first one to have done it. Well, I haven't done it yet. I'm not planning to. It's gonna make a lot of people uncomfortable on set. That's a funny thing about filmmakers. I don't know how they would react, but I don't care. It's gonna have to happen. Which means I'm gonna have to get a better data plan. Yeah. I'll always figure it out. Yeah, so one of the things I was gonna work on, let me see, was I need to make some videos to better explain what the index is. That's another concern I have, is the name is so close to the Matrix. Has anybody thought that? I'd be curious about you guys. Has anybody with the index? That sounds like the Matrix. Does anybody have that thought, or am I just paranoid? Of course, I mean, not even ours, because the whole "this is not a game" thing is still around. I personally think it's outdated, and I love this like closeness, this intimacy between. Yeah, that's what I like too. Like it's interesting because there are so many, like, we're all creators now. Not everybody, but you know, like, there's so many YouTubers, so many filmmakers, so many artists, so many comic book artists. I mean, it's crazy that, you know, and this is kind of, I guess, like the day and age we live in because of the internet, but we're all like creators, so it just got me thinking, like, there is no magic behind it anymore necessarily. I guess I never really was, because you know that somebody created it. But there's something there, right? Like, there's something about just showing everything as if you're just on set with me, or as if we're sitting down and writing a comic book together. And so right now it's like all me building this stuff, because I have to, like I think I mentioned before, I have to lay the foundation for this world. But phase 2 is like, man, what if we did a voting system, bracket system, and we like went step by step using social media to figure out what's the character like, what's the main character like, or what a choose your own adventure, right? It's a choose your own franchise adventure. Yeah, it's a very saturated market, that's for sure. That's for sure. So here you go. This is like the little niche to get past all that. At least I hope. All right. That's another thing. I do need to start creating more interactive elements. I was doing a choose your own adventure sort of social media thing just to kind of see how it would work. And I was really surprised. A lot of people, this was like earlier too. I think I have like more followers, almost double followers now. But I was curious to see if like people would actually engage through Instagram, through Twitter, through Facebook, all that, and choose your own adventure interactive thing. I found out later that there is, like, those things do exist, but it was really interesting to see that how many people did engage with it. The concern I have is that, and I guess I could start simple, but the concern I have is that what really needs to happen is people start actively putting up ideas as opposed to like answering A, B, C, D, you know? So that'll be interesting trying to cultivate. All this is like a backwards psychological, what are people actually going to do? But it's all more testing, I suppose, than anything else. Oh yeah, you remember that? Yeah. Choose your own adventure. I said that before. I think that's the, it's catchy. It's catchy. It's always the backwards engineering of these things. Trying to figure it out. Where'd my notes go? So I'm going to make a series of videos in order to better explain what the index is. Aha! Here, I'll show you guys. I don't even know if there is spoilers in here. I'm gonna put it up here anyway. Large scale ad libs. I don't know if you're joking or not, but Alright, I'm gonna write that note down too. You guys are giving me great ideas. See? Collaborative! You guys just earned a moon coin each. And I'm not joking. I'm gonna write that down right now. It's so funny because actually, and here's what I'm going to tell you, to be completely honest. I don't have like an economy figured out for the whole moon coin thing. And I keep going back and forth. Do I first do I first figure out the economy of such a world, and then I disperse of said moon coin or currency appropriately? Or do I just start dispersing those coins, incentivizing people with, hey, you can have 10 moon coins. Here's 1,000 moon coins. Here's 0.05 moon coins. And then just kind of wing it. And then based on that, what's out there, then create the economy. Because then you kind of have a baked in, I don't know what the word would be. I'm not an economist, but like like a baked-in demand. I don't know what I'm talking about. As you can see, I don't know what I'm doing. But either way, you guys both have one moon coin. It's exactly equivalent to a Bitcoin, so it's like what, $40,000 right now. Congratulations. Don't cash, hodl. See how the people react. So you mean like I should give moon coins kind of freely and see if they care? Is that what you mean? Or are they gonna be like, oh, thanks for the moon coin? Okay, so introduction. Hi, I'm Roasted, filmmaker, web designer, sci-fi enthusiast. About the world. No, I need to be about the project. So this is my introduction video. So I'm gonna have like introduction video. What is the index project? See, there's Mooncoin's economy. So I better figure it out because I have to make a video about it. Introduction, the metaverse. More than interactive, we are co-creating this sucker. And then the story world itself, which includes like Quantum Punk. I think that's enough. 1, 2, 3, 4 videos. I don't want to. And then Patreon, I'm kind of going back and forth on that. I think it makes sense to do Patreon. You're down $20 on Bitcoin. I don't know how much I'm down on it. I bought kind of. When did I buy? I bought when it was like 50, and I just try not to pay attention. I'm sure I've gained a lot and I lost a lot. Probably when it went up to like 78 or something like that. I don't even know how much I would have got. Probably not that much. I didn't buy a whole ton, but yeah, it's kind of like you gotta try. I actually remember I was aware of Bitcoin when it was like around 20-30 bucks. I just didn't pay much attention. I just heard about it and said, oh, that's cool. I hope that happens. That'd be fair, but giving them without the economy system in place, you can always wing that. Make a whole day's worth of content based solely around earning and spending. Character X goes to the mall. What do they buy? What does that buy? That's true, right? So it's like, you could even incentivize it too. Like maybe, I guess if you were to equate it, like one moon coin, it's like $100, right? And so people that are like, for lack of a better term, early adopters of the index, like you guys, you'd be rich. You'd start off like really rich because essentially if they can earn moon coins even before the digital series launches, there's gonna be a lot of marketing behind that and everything else. So I mean, cross my fingers, but there would be a lot of people involved at that point, and then you would have to be really careful with how much moon coin is spent. But like, say you're an early fan and you got like 400 or 500 moon coin and then equate it to be $100 each, then that incentivizes early adopter sort of, or early fans, I guess is a better word for that. So sci-fi options that could possibly mess up the story. Yes. And that's what's cool about the index too, is like it's kind of the story world itself lends itself to just be completely screwed with, like, because reality is being hacked and everything else. Quite literally, if let's say 1,000 fans got together, despite what I want them to do, and they use their collective power. Their characters, meaning like collective power, to change something in the universe. I mean, of course, I could be like, no, not gonna happen. I don't think I would, depending on how destructive it is. They could actually use their collective consciousness to do something crazy, and we might have like split universes or something. It'd be insane. It'd be insane, I tell you. Giving you guys your moon coin right now. Just a note. Maybe it's worth nothing. Maybe it's worth something. The trombone, mediocre, 1 moon coin. It's almost 9 where I am. Let's call this notes from stream. Okay. Oh my gosh. It's gonna be so hot when we film, especially with that freaking this freaking thing on my chest. Why is that guy have a mustache? That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Let that play in the background. Why not? One moon coin is worth 1 billion sun coins. Oh, see, these are early auditions. Holy crap, this was 5 years or 6 years ago auditions. That was for Jay, which is the character in 53. Oh my gosh, look at that. My hairline is receded since then. Hi, Emerson. Introduction. Okay. My name. And I'm totally gonna teleprompt this, by the way. My name is Rustin. Should I do my full name? L. Odom. So that's some early concept art we got from a dude that like blew up. I don't want to block it, sorry. That was me on the end, yep. I think I was pointing at the camera. This is like a industrial build, not industrial, but some like shop that these guys just bought, and they let us, like, while they're still setting up their business, let us film in there. That's Tibby. I still have, where's her? I don't know what I did with her. I still have her somewhere. Somewhere, I don't know. Tibby is a monkey, a rhesus monkey brain, and she is a common story element. Is here you can see she's fastened into controlling this arm thing. You might remember. I think you guys solved it. So you saw 53, the short, one of the short films. But she shows up in the comic book. Oh yeah, that was like an early draft or something else. Is this on corny? I'm a filmmaker who is about to do something crazy. Oh yeah, that was like a test. Horrible. It was supposed to be this cool thing where like you're following all these crazy wires up to this, like, you think it's a cityscape. I don't even remember, honestly. It was supposed to be for the trailer, and it just didn't work out. I'm a filmmaker who's about to try something. Try something that's not too weird. I think that's too weird. Hi, my name is Rustin. I'm a filmmaker who's about to try something. I don't like it. What is this? Oh, this has a lot of behind the scenes stuff. When we actually filmed 53. Man, that was a fun day. Fun 3 days. I'm no joking. I slept probably a total of like 4 or 5 hours, maybe those total for those 3 days. I remember like dressing that set, trying to get all this work done before the actors showed up, and I sat down, laid my head back on this like couch that was nearby, and my wife goes, hey, people are showing up. And I was like, what? And I was like, I didn't even know that like 20 minutes went by. It was literally like me putting my head back and boom. It was the only time I've ever experienced something like that. It was crazy. Crazy but fun. Alright. A filmmaker who's about to try something else. Yeah, I like that. Just keep it to the old true. A filmmaker, creator? Yeah. Creator of the index project. What is it? So what is the index? Index project. What is the index project? That should be silly, right? Like that should be like, so what is the index project? It's an ambitious experimental sci-fi project. I know this is like quality entertainment, guys. I apologize. Experimental sci-fi project that will ultimately end me. I'm gonna keep that. They'll ultimately be the death of me. That sounds better. Ultimately be the death of me. Yeah, we'll keep it silly. Why not? Why not? Should I say, but for reals, it's actually. So what is the index project? It's an ambitious experimental science project that will ultimately be the death of me. But really, it's I don't know. I want to talk a bit about the world, but this is not the video to do that in. Subscribe at the Index Project. Facebook. Oh my gosh. Oh, that must be okay. My Twitter. It's before I had an Instagram. Should I say for real though? Well, yeah, there's a Facebook page. It doesn't get much attention. I think just Facebook algorithm isn't what it used to be. So it's more, you know, unless like I pay for ads, which at some point I probably will. But yeah, it's not very. You have to like look for it to show up. Even like my close friends, the people that I've worked on the Index project, they don't see updates. Like I think I see like the reach is like 2 people every time I post something. So it's kind of like in the background. I don't even think about Facebook that much. We'll see. It's an ambitious experimental sci-fi project that will ultimately be the death of me. Well, maybe. Well, maybe. So what is the index project? I already asked that. Oh my gosh, it's already getting late. I'll give this a couple more minutes. Let's sell this. Oh yeah, that's a game that never made it to the ARG. It's actually pretty cool. I'll have to reuse it at some point, but you have to figure out the proper arrangement to get this device to work that essentially takes probability, such as as you can see here, a coin toss, tails or heads, takes a probability and forces it into 100%. In other words, so a coin flip is 50-50. This is technology that would force it to be heads every time, right? It's kind of like another way that they hack reality. Yeah, it was never in the ARG. You'll probably see it again as the ARG continues someday. All right, I think it's kind of corny. Is it corny? It's an ambitious experimental sci-fi project that will ultimately be the death of me. I guess it's how I edited it. How I actually say it. That's fake code. I don't remember that being in the production error. The Index is a complete story told through collaborating with its audience. I'm gonna use that. It's a choose your own adventure. It's a choose your own adventure. Confused yet? I don't know if I should add humor. I don't know. Confused yet? Me too. But we'll figure it out together. Writing isn't editing. I'm sure all this is going to go away. That's a good start, at least. All right, guys. I'm going to bounce off. It is 9 o'clock for me. And I still have real life work to do, unfortunately. Editing. Fun marketing videos. Not. So I'm gonna bounce. I appreciate you guys joining the live show. It really helps when you guys are here and I'll be able to chat with you guys. You guys are always so much fun to. What? How did I jump over to a David video? But yeah, so I appreciate you guys. Yeah, until the next time, I need to start live streaming more because as this thing gets more and more interactive. But what you're going to start seeing too is that I'm going to start making Twitter more of my interact with the story, or start to, maybe I'll even do another choose your own adventure thing. Maybe fully text based or something. But more like updates, more like this is behind the scenes sort of stuff. This is just me talking. And then Instagram's probably going to be more of like it is a reality defect. The first one that I showed. Yeah. And then Instagram will probably be more like the fun, cool looking stuff. And then Facebook's gonna be whatever. But I appreciate you guys. I will talk to you soon. Hopefully I can do this once a week. I guess we'll see, but I'd have to because it needs to be more interactive. So we'll see how it goes. But thanks, guys. And maybe I'll see you later in Vehemence. It's coming faster, coming more naturally. Of course, guys. We'll see ya. Take it easy.